Alicia Cook, known professionally as Alicia Keys, was born on January 25, 1981, in the gritty, vibrant heart of New York City. An artist was being quietly forged in the corridors of Hell's Kitchen, raised by her single mother, Nikki, who worked tirelessly to support her daughter's dreams. Alicia's earliest memories were intertwined with sound, the honking horns of Manhattan, the cadence of Harlem gospel, the beat of sidewalk hip-hop. At 4, she was performing for anyone who would listen. By 7, the piano became her sanctuary and her compass. Those first hesitant notes weren't just music, they were a lifeline, an anchor of emotional truth in a world that often demanded she grow up too fast. From classical etudes to jazz improvisations, young Alicia soaked it all in, promising herself she would speak through melody and soul at the Professional Performing Arts School in Manhattan. Alicia discovered that her gift was not solely in the fingers that danced across the keys, but in the voice that poured from her heart. Surrounded by dancers, actors, and musicians, she felt both at home and on edge, a Black and Italian girl in an eclectic melting pot, trying to translate her inner storms into something the world could feel. She started writing songs at 14, the lyrics carrying the urgency of someone who saw life in intense colors and felt emotions as tidal waves. Her compositions revealed a blend of vulnerability and strength that defied her years, an intertwining of classical sophistication with raw, visceral honesty. By 16, she had graduated as valedictorian, an early testament to her discipline and vision. The transition from prodigy to professional was swift. At just 15, industry legend Clive Davis recognized her brilliance and inked her to a record deal, first at Arista and soon after at the newly formed J Records. It was here that Alicia's heart found its voice. Songs in a Minor, her debut album released in 2001, didn't just introduce the world to a new artist, it heralded a soul reborn. The record sold millions of copies globally and won 5 Grammy Awards in 2002, including Song of the Year and Best New Artist, affirming that Alicia wasn't merely a performer, she was a messenger. Each piano chord, each breathy, emotive lyric seemed to reveal something deeper about love, pain, and survival. But success did not soften her spirit, it sharpened it. Her second album, The Diary of Alicia Keys, expanded her lyrical palette, exploring the nuance of relationships with honesty that was at once personal and universal. Hits like If I Ain't Got You became anthems for the heartbroken and hopeful alike, cementing her place in a musical era defined by emotional depth rather than shallow glamour. She refused to be boxed in by genre, infusing her work with R&B, soul, jazz, and classical flourishes, refusing formulas in favor of truth. By 2005, her Unplugged album offered stripped-down performances that revealed an artist unafraid of exposure, her voice, her piano, her soul laid bare. Alicia's evolution continued with As I Am in 2007, featuring the Grammy-winning No One, a song that became the soundtrack to countless weddings, late nights, and midnight confessions. Collaboration became another language she spoke fluently, most famously with Jay-Z on Empire State of Mind, a love letter to her beloved New York City that echoed across radio waves and stadiums. Her artistry was no longer just heard, it was felt, a cultural force. Over the next decade, she released a succession of albums: The Element of Freedom, Girl on Fire, Here, Alicia, and Keys, each reflecting phases of her internal world: faith, struggle, empowerment, introspection, and finally, acceptance. Along the way, she sold tens of millions of records, becoming one of the best-selling artists in music history and a defining voice of her generation. But Alicia's journey transcended the studio. She graced the silver screen in films like Smoking Aces and The Secret Life of Bees, showing that her artistry extended into storytelling in all its forms. Offstage, her heart beat loudest in the work she did for humanity. In 2003, she co-founded Keep a Child Alive, a non-profit committed to supporting children and families affected by HIV/AIDS in Africa and India. Her activism was not performative. It was born from the belief that music, like compassion, should break down barriers and heal wounds. She spoke openly about women's rights, racial equity, and the importance of lifting up marginalized voices, using her platform as a megaphone for change. In her personal life, Alicia found love in the creative powerhouse Kasim Swizz Beatz Dean. They married in 2010, and together they built a family rooted in love, respect, and mutual artistic passion. The birth of their sons, Egypt and Genesis, introduced new dimensions of joy and reflection into her world, infusing her music with tenderness and an even deeper sense of purpose. Motherhood taught her new rhythms: stillness amidst chaos, softness in moments of strain, and those lessons found their way into her melodies, making them resonate with listeners who saw their own lives reflected in her songs. Unafraid of reinvention, Alicia took on Broadway with Hell's Kitchen, a semi-autobiographical jukebox musical built from the fabric of her own life and music. What began as a dream blossomed into a story that touched hearts nationwide, a testament to the power of roots, resilience, and the artist's journey. Hell's Kitchen not only honored her past but extended her voice into new artistic realms, showing that her influence was not confined to charts but could animate entire narratives on stage. In 2025, she made a surprise Broadway performance, singing her anthemic Empire State of Mind to rapturous applause, a moment that captured the full circle of her artistic odyssey. Beyond music and theatre, Alicia embraced entrepreneurship with Keys Soul Care, a lifestyle and beauty brand that champions self-care and embracing one's natural essence. Her decision to step confidently into her authenticity, famously declaring freedom from makeup norms, resonated with millions who saw her as a catalyst for self-acceptance. Her memoir, More Myself, offered readers an intimate, unguarded look at her internal battles and triumphs, inviting audiences to witness her vulnerabilities and her growth. Whether through a piano riff, a spoken word, or a simple act of self-love, Alicia invited the world to look inward, to feel deeply, and to live boldly. Today, Alicia Keys stands not just as a singer or songwriter, but as a force of nature woman who transformed pain into purpose, keys into catharsis, and silence into song. She has sold over 90 million records worldwide, won 17 Grammy Awards, and earned recognition as one of the most influential artists of her time. Yet, for all the accolades and achievements, her legacy is most deeply felt in the hearts she's moved, the voices she's amplified, and the courage she's inspired. Alicia's story reminds us that true artistry grows from authenticity, that vulnerability can be strength, and that the most beautiful songs are born from the deepest truths. Please like and share the video if you liked it. Thanks.